Hello everyone. So today we have created a new n8n workflow, which is capable of saving time and money. So this is the workflow. Imagine that you can simply send it a print, a message, a sentence, and it is capable from that sentence of creating a video for you to advertise, to share information, a video in fact, that contains a scenario, that contains that images, that contain original music, and above all, it contains captions and messages inside. This entire video will actually be created from this workflow, so that afterwards it will be automatically distributed across all your social networks: Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, all your networks. In fact, in an automatic way. This machine, what you are seeing right now, is capable of creating and generating 5 videos per thought hour. That means in a day we can reach hundreds of videos within 24 hours. And the strength of this system is that it is a system that takes just one sentence as input. We are also capable, we have made many improvements to this workflow so that it is also capable of receiving an image as input. That means I can give it this image, a simple still image, and it is capable of making it move, animating it, and creating an entire message within it, and making it useful as a video, and subsequently sharing it. So in this video, I will show you how, in the end, you can import this entire workflow ready to be used. So here I am downloading it, and I will show you how you can simply import it to actually use it. So stay until the end of the videos to learn how to do it. And my goal with this workflow is to actually show you the flow of information, how the information circulates, so that you can understand the operating mechanism and how we were able to generate all of this. I manage this entire workflow with a Telegram channel. So I send the video and I receive the image, or I receive the scenario automatically with just a simple telegram. Of course, as shown, you can integrate it with an Excel database, a Notion database. You are free afterwards to input your data into a database. This means you can put everything into a database to assist you, or even generate a system that creates ideas. And this machine every hour will create 5 high quality videos for you. You can download it for free. I will guide you in this video to understand the flow and how to deploy my workflow. Thank you. So let's get started. The first thing to run the workflow, we need to simply have the n8n software installed to be able to use it. And to have n8n, in fact, we have 3 ways to do it. Either we download it on a computer and deploy it on a local machine. I've made several videos on that, how to deploy n8n on a local machine. The only drawback is that it takes time and requires a minimum of knowledge. In fact, in computing, a little bit of code that you need to set up to be able to run it locally. And in addition to that, it needs to be local. You also need to install an HTTPS protocol to allow your n8n to connect to external nodes on the cloud. And that will require a bit of computer knowledge. If you are somewhat comfortable with using computers and coding, you can invest a little time to install n8n on your machine and start working with it. The second solution, of course, is the quickest one, which is to go to the official n8n website and simply create an account. The only drawback here is the price. The price is a bit expensive. That means that today, if we go for it, we're talking about $24 per month. The second drawback is that I can only activate 5 workflows. That's very, very few. Because to have more than 5 workflows, the price goes up. And the idea today is to have an n8n reinstalled. We don't need installation and can have an unlimited number of workflows. And so the solution I propose is the solution offered by Rostinger. It actually offers a special server, and on this server there is the possibility to activate an unlimited license, and that is very, very important. I will leave you the link in the description that takes you directly to this page. Here, you need to be careful. You shouldn't choose a regular server. You need to choose a server, like the one on this specific page, which is the pre-installed n8n. The cost is $6.99. I will actually show you the plans. In any case, there are 4 servers, but the one I recommend to you is this one. No need to get more processors. With 2 processors, it's more than enough to run the workflows, like I do with somewhat complex, somewhat advanced workflows for production productivity, so 24/7. So this workflow is great. So you just need to select it. I'm going to show you a little trick actually, so you can actually get it even cheaper for less than €6. So here you will have in the promotion, you will simply type Dr. Ferguson just like that, and you will press apply. And there you go. So now the price, there will be another discount. So afterward, no need to fill in anything here. You just need to continue here to place the order. I'll show you right away in 2 minutes how you can import and gain access. In fact, there you go. Your n8n is imported. Your workflow, it's very simple and very easy. So here we go. Here we go. So the first thing to do is to actually select the location of your server. So it's not very important here, but for me, I actually choose France since it's the closest server to me, so I click on continue. After that, you simply need to search for n8n, so either you type n8n or you go to the application here and you will find n8n. Be careful. Sometimes when you search for n8n, it might give you variations in version. So there's n8n, there's n8n QMod. Choose the most popular one, which is this one, as it is the simplest. Here we find the basic installations. And then you will simply click on select. Select will simply take you to this mode. Here, it offers you a small software that will help you, like what? It's an antivirus that will block unknown external connections. Here you take it, it's free. So I click on next. And here it will simply ask me to create a password to access n8n on a VPS server. And here you will simply go here, click here, it will offer you a default password, or you can create your own password. And here it's the name of your server. This one you can copy paste. In any case, we can retrieve it later. But you will simply copy paste it in a secure place. This URL and your password. And there you go, it's done. You will simply click here on finish. And here what it will do, it will start the installation and the setup, if you will, of your server. Generally, it will take a maximum of 5 minutes to have direct access to your server, which is a pre-configured n8n server. You will have no need to type any line of code. You will have direct access to your dashboard to create your first workflow. And there is done. So it displays the message saying what? The installation was successfully completed. And now I can simply access it to manage our dashboard, our server. So on this interface, you have the option to change the language here. You can set it to the language that interests you. And you can see that my server is operational, which means I have an online server that will be running mode. So for the next 2 years, it won't shut down. So every time I write a workflow, it will be active, operational online. And to actually manage this server and simply access your n8n, you will find it here. In fact, there's a small option called Manage the Application. You will see when I click here, it will switch me to my interface. n8n is therefore the final step. I will simply enter my email address, my last name, my first name, and a password here. So this interface is one that will secure my access to n8n. The other access we had earlier was access to our server, but this one, in fact, is access to n8n. So here, I just invite you to fill in this information and, of course, keep it in a secure place. And there you go, we are almost done. The last step, it asks me if I want to receive a key or a license to activate your free and lifetime license for your workflow. Well, of course, I will click here to actually receive a code. It's actually a key that will unlock the workflows for free and for life. All right, I actually received the key via the internet. n8n, my email inbox. What am I going to do? I'm simply going to go here, actually, into my configuration space. And you will see here in settings, you have the option to add your key. So look here, there is this option that actually allows you to add this key. You just need to click. And now I'm going to copy and paste my key. And there you go. My key has just been activated. So you will see here. In fact, I simply have unlimited use of my workflow. And it's done. So now I have my n8n server ready to be installed. So if I go back to my dashboard, I will simply have the option to start easily. Actually, a new workflow by clicking here. There you go. Once the server is installed, you will find here, in fact, created the closed. When you click there, you will be able to simply click on import front file. So there, you click to select the file of my workflow from your computer. Of course, the download of that workflow, I will show you at the end of the video. What is very important for me is that I explain the deployment to you, I explain the scenario, and we do a real demonstration with my own photo or my own print to really see how the system works and how. It will publish all the videos on all my social networks in real time. So here, I click on import file. And well, here, in fact, we will try to move to the step of reading my workflow. So if you noticed, there are actually 5 steps. The first step, this one, in fact, it involves creating the first video. Generally, it's a video that doesn't make sense. There are no captions, no writing on this video. Afterwards, I work on creating an original music piece for this video. Here, if I say original, it means it's not a music. Copy-paste from elsewhere. It's an old one that will. I created music truly adapted to the first video. Then I will combine the music, the text, and the video to have a single, original, final video. At this point, in the 4th step, I will simply publish it exclusively on my Telegram and save it in my database. That is to say, it's just internal, I will see the result. Once the 4th step is completed, that's when a system will trigger, which will then publish my work on 9 social networks. So now we will start talking about the first step. This is the first workflow that I will explain. In fact, the decisions I made in this first step, which is a very important step. So how does it work? You will see that at the beginning, I actually start by sending a small message with my prompt from Telegram. That means from Telegram, you will see that I actually upload an image. I put it here and there, I send a message. It's a message that first contains the scenario I propose, and then it contains the idea of a caption or the message I want it to develop to put on this video, and then I give it an idea regarding the music I want, my preferences. So the system, what it will do, it will of course there extract and arrange, format the information, meaning that it received an image and a message. In that message, there are 3 pieces of information. So it will try to capture the 3 pieces of information and separate them. There is information about the scenario, there is information about the caption, and there is information about the music. And then it will test. It will check whether the message I sent is an image or simply if I only send text. If it's only text, then it will move to this step to create a video from scratch, from a text and not from an image. And here I use a very powerful tool called Blue Tato. I'll leave the link for it in the description. This tool is very strong. It provides me with a certain API, and this API, it allows for 2. It is very clear in terms of documentation. And this API, it allows me to create videos automatically. So with this tool, I will try to go to the back office. It is the one that actually creates this kind of production. And I don't touch anything. I don't even download. It is the one that actually takes care of generating, creating. It handles the sequences. I do nothing. I don't even see this interface. And this tool, that's its strength. It actually helps me with the generation. So it's mainly, it's this software that operates and runs. It is the one that allows sharing and working and even creating a whole schedule so I can make the publications. That's the strength of this tool. I also add here in the configuration of this tool, it allows me to connect all my networks in a very simple way and to see what we call the IDs of each of these networks. For me, I created test networks here to thoroughly test the tool. And of course, it actually gives me unlimited access with the API. This is very important because I can create an account for free and make use of it. But then, of course, if I have a very, very high usage of the API and I need to share in real time, then in that case, I can take what we call credits here. And there, it obviously allows me the freedom to generate videos and share them without limits. So this is very, very, very powerful compared to this tool. I continue. So the tool will create, I will wait a little bit, about 2 minutes for it to finish creating, and then I will get a first video. There is also a part here, if I ever send an image, then I will upload it, and afterwards I will extract the URL of that image, and then I will host it on Cloudinary, which is a server that actually offers free hosting of images from your videos. And afterwards, I will use an API called Papi. This one, in fact, allows you to simply render an image and transform it into a video. So this is also a very interesting system. Grandpa, here I just fund it with $5. $5 is quite sufficient to create several videos. And so it has a whole API that even allows generating audio. And that's very interesting from the AI's perspective. And all of this, in fact, I subsequently call upon the generation, in fact, of my video. And so as a result, I can obviously retrieve this video here and that too. It's very interesting. So once I've completed the first step, it's a first step that comes into play, either with text alone or with a CG image containing only text. So I'm going to stay here, which means I won't go to the second one at Pila. If I don't have text, I have an image, so I will use this API to ultimately have a raw video that contains the entire scenario, but doesn't have images, rather doesn't have text, and doesn't have music. And this is a very important step. Once I finish, I can move on to the second step, which is the generation of music. So step 2 is simply here. I will generate music, still with PeerPie. It is the one capable of creating audio. And that from, of course, just a print, just from the text I sent from the start, because from the start, in fact, when I send it, I give it a little bit at the end. There you go, an idea of the music I want it to use. So thanks to that idea, it will actually get inspired and then generate, in fact, a suitable piece of music for me. Afterwards, I actually create the text. So this is the text that I will write on, therefore, the video. So this text will, of course, be distributed across several lines because the video will contain multiple lines. And afterwards, once it's done, I will simply finish this second step to move on to the third step. This is the step where I will combine, merge, in fact, text, images, music to have a complete video. And there you go. So now we are in the third step. Here, in fact, we are going to merge. In fact, obviously here, in fact, I am using another API, which is this one, in fact, which is the API called JSON to video. This one, in fact, its job is simply, it gives me an API here and it allows, well, to combine, in fact, everything that is so video. And there, in fact, it will give me the possibility, in fact, to generate, in fact, a complete final video. So here I have the URL of the final video. I add here, in fact, a small description. There, when I post the video, I would like to have a description, a text, in fact, that will be included with the post. So there you go. It's to encourage people to leave a comment. And all that, and here I actually create a title. Because sometimes, like on YouTube, we are required with the description and the video to have a title. So here I create the title. So I can say that here, in this step, the third step, it's a final step, where I have the complete video with music, images, texts, ready to be published. Good. So here we have a fourth step. This is a step where I will record all the information in a file. The budget, why? Because here I would like to see, here are the URLs that I write, the title, and I can also set the status, whether it's published or not. Or not publish if I want to do a check later to avoid publishing all the videos. But, so this is the file. In fact, this is where I allow myself to make updates, to leave a record and traceability as well. I would like to be notified every time I create something on Telegram. I will receive the video, ICA. I will also receive the link to be able to listen to it, download it, and see perfectly how it is as a result. Once I have completed this step, which is a step where I record everything, then I can move on to the final step, which is the publication step. And in this step, I simply make the posts on social networks. So as always, I use Bluetato. So here it is a system that simply allows me to add what we call the different IDs of all my networks. So these are the specific IDs that I create. The creation of these IDs is done directly from their website, because there, on their site, I first have to connect my networks. Once I make the connections, I will place them here to be able to establish the connection. And subsequently, each network In fact, there you go. I actually write its own code so that it can simply do the sharing. And you will see that this step, once it is configured, you will simply be able to use it without any issues, especially here with the Summer app. In fact, we found everything explained, even the same license. If you go to n8n, you will actually find all the information to be able to, in fact, update it, and you will even find it there. And free videos that actually explain to you step by step. How to set up the 9 networks is in a very simple way and with very good documentation here, which I can follow, to set up this system in a very interesting way. So, if I come back here to my system, I have a system capable of publishing. So let's get started. We will actually try to start injecting one of the photos I have to see how the system will run and how it will share it. On these networks, I just add a piece of information. If, for instance, you are not working with Instagram, you can simply click here, click on deactivate when you disable this network. There, quite simply, it won't send it to Instagram, for example. Here, I don't work with Blue Sky, so I can click here and then deactivate. There you go. And I don't work with Pinterest. For example, I click here, I deactivate, so I have Blue Sky and Pinterest deactivated, and I leave all the others operational. I opened here. In fact, here's a page where I have the different networks. What we're going to do, we're going to try to launch a real demonstration to see a little if the system will record or not all the creations and creativity on this new workflow. And so to test our system, there are 2 ways to do it. Either we put it in active mode. And so each time I send a message with Telegram, it will activate. Or simply today when we do a little test. So there I will activate it from here. So here I will click on test workflow. Once, if you want to work with the system, you simply need to, of course, keep it active at all times so it can retrieve all your data. You will see there when I actually set it to waiting, so now it is actually waiting for me to send a message here. As soon as I send a message, you will see it will retrieve it, it will check if it's an image. It will proceed if it's not a text. It will proceed there, and then, of course, it will go when it takes a break. Here we can discuss it or pause. Actually, this demonstration is so we can just see the results. So here we go. I'm actually going to take Telegram and then I'm going to take one of my photos. So there I took a photo. Here it is. This is my photo, mine on the streets of New York. And now I'm going to do everything. Simply there, throw a little text with that image. So the text, of course, is actually composed of 3 parts. A first part where I actually describe the image. The second, because if you let it describe the image itself, it might sometimes create other scenarios for that image. So as a result, I describe the image so it can understand a little bit of what message I want to convey with this image. Subsequently, actually, here, I have put some information about the L. The captioning here is somewhat the spirit of this image here. It's like we're getting lost in the rain and all that, and we're searching for a moment within ourselves. And there, I was actually giving it some information about the music I wanted to attract. He worked on it and created it for me so that it works with this video. Well, that's one. Here's a little detail. So there, I launch. Of course, you can write it in any language here. The language you use here is the same one he will use later when he writes. So here, I click on send. So it's sent. So as you can see there, it detected that there is an image. So there, it's working. So why did I put a wait here? Wait here, because there, in fact, it is doing the processing. So here, in fact, we can increase the size a bit. There. So it's working with the API, actually, Puppy. It's generating it. So as a result, I know it won't exceed 2 minutes since I set the video to be 5 seconds. Of course, the duration of the video, of course, you can actually update it here. 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 20 seconds, it all depends on your preference. But to be quick in this demo, I just set it to 5 seconds. So I give it the time it needs to finish so I can retrieve it. And you'll see, once it retrieves it, it actually has the final video. It will simply proceed to the creation of the music. So at this point, I'm going to leave it for 2 minutes so they can finish. I'll resume right away so I can catch up here at the music part. Now, when I go to PRP, I see that it has finished here. So the generation is done. So if I look, there it is. It has obviously moved on to the music part, so now it is generating the music. So the same thing here. If I check the audio section, if I go to the model I used here, it is currently making the music. We'll click here. There it is. It's processing. So now the music is progressing. You see, to create the music here, it costs 0.02, so it's not expensive at all. And of course, it will create a truly original piece of music for me. So it's not a copy-paste. It doesn't exist, and we won't have any copyright issues later on. And so I'm giving it time to finish here. That's why. In fact, I'm waiting here so that I actually gain the time at this moment. It finishes creating the music. Of course, the more complex the music and languages are. Of course, the more complex it is, the longer it will take. But in terms of pricing, it's always the same. If you make a long piece of music, there's no problem. It actually remains the same. And that's the model, in fact, and the system that will actually run this music. So once it has worked on the music, you'll see who will come to retrieve it. It will now create the caption, and then it will merge all the music and text. So as a result, we will let the system finish there quietly so that we can pick it up in the third step. And there you go, the music has just been successfully completed. If I come back perfectly here, I see that it has retrieved the music that is accompanying both now. So here it is working with. I felt the whole video, so another tool that in fact is being used there. If I go into render, so log, we should normally be there. So this is the project. Indeed, we are here. So normally it's finished. That's good. So now he has the video. So we will wait afterwards. We will see a little bit the different links once they finish to see. So there you have the usage. By the way, there you go. He has left. So that's very, very good. He is currently recording the Google file, Google Cheats. So if I go to my file there, I should normally find a new line that has just been added. It's going to be that one actually. So we will use the page to be sure. Yes, it's 8. This is my final video. So I will discover it with you in real time. Well, so here I see on our Blue Title platform that he has just confirmed the publication. So as a result, I am going to open the different test pages. So quite simply, these are test pages. There's no need to send me invitations on those pages. So there you go. The first video here has just been published with the text you see there. The same thing on Instagram. The same thing on YouTube. Of course, on YouTube, I set the visibility to unlisted, but I can, of course, make it public automatically. The same thing on TikTok. And what's funny on TikTok, look, it's already 307 views there. It's already 6 views. Yet it's one of the test accounts that is not verified, just a placeholder. This account was created just for the training. There on the page, I also see it has just been published as well. And then the same thing on Twitter. There we see on Twitter, and we will try to refresh Twitter. So come on. And there you go. Of course, I have the video with sound and everything, which has just been published 100% thanks to our workflow. So the workflow is working correctly. And I was able to simply, from an idea, dispatch all the information across the entire platform. So there we were able to do the publication, the creation. Of course, it's not just this video. There are several in fact. There are those that were made on the system where we were able to generate videos from a simple print. Of course, it varies. Afterwards, it all depends on the objective of your company and what message you can convey. Imagine how many hundreds of videos you can automatically generate to convey messages, to share information that is, of course, related to your company. You can generate lists. Ideas are not what's lacking. There are a lot of ideas. And what I did, in fact, is I provided you here with a link which is n8n.firas.vip. So take a look at this link. You will access it, enter your name, your email address, and you will receive, in fact, the complete workflow of this video. You can simply use it and, of course, deploy it.